Hello and welcome to Frontline Conversations. With the second phase of the Lok Sabha election due on April 26th, 88 seats across 13 states, including Karnataka and Kerala from the south, will go to polls. Karnataka will participate in the second and third phases, with a by-election also taking place for the Surpur Assembly constituency on May 7th. The major contesting alliances in Karnataka are the NDA and the India bloc. While most NDA candidates are from the BJP, a smaller portion belongs to the Janata Dal secular. All 28 candidates representing the India bloc are from the Congress. Unlike the triangular contest in the May Assembly election, this election is said to be a straight fight between the ruling Congress and the BJP-JD combined. To analyze this crucial election, we have R.K. Radhakrishnan, Frontline Senior Associate Editor, joining us. Thank you for joining us, R.K.
My pleasure.
Yes. So to start off, 13 states will elect 88 seats to the Lok Sabha tomorrow in the second phase of election. So what do you say about that? Take a pan-Indian perspective and then, come down to Karnataka, Kerala respectively.
Yeah, of course. We have seen that in this 88 seats, BJP has won 52 of the seats in the 2019 elections. Congress managed only 18. And the next largest party is the JDU and the Shiv Sena, which managed 4 each. Then it's all smaller parties managing a couple of seats here and there. That is from 2019, where BJP had the lion's share of the seats in this particular combination of seats. That is when it comes to the 2019 elections. What we see now, the second phase of elections, what we saw between the first phase of elections and the second phase of elections is the BJP going hammer and tongs against the Congress and conducting a kind of campaign which was based on religion, which was based on trying to say that the Congress will take your Mangal Sutra and give it to the Muslims and take your all your money and all of that, all your wealth and distribute it to people who have more children, and of course Guspetiyam, infiltrators, from basically meaning that it will all go to the Muslims. And we have not seen this kind of derogatory comments or this kind of campaign laws in so early into a campaign phase. Of course, first phase of campaigns we saw Narendra Modi come to Tamil Nadu and Kerala and of course the rest of India and talk about development policies in the 102 seats that went to the polls. And then again, when it comes to second phase, I think there was some nervousness on the part of the BJP that they saw probably that that particular rhetoric, the development rhetoric, is not really taking off. The Ram temple is not really taking off. So they go back to their traditional thing of Hindu Katre mein hai, and from there starts this new narrative of trying to win over the Hindu votes. And then when that Hindu Katre mein hai actually works on the ground, it has converted into fantastic votes for the Bharatiya Janata Party. This is a new law that we have seen in Indian politics. In fact, the opposition parties have made a formal complaint to the Election Commission of India. Unfortunately, to this day, the Election Commission of India has neither censured the Prime Minister nor taken any action against him. Now, as a result of that, what happens is that the entire BJP ecosystem is echoing almost the same thing, that Muslims will take away your property, and this is what Congress says. And Congress has clarified time and again, it does not say that in the Nyaya Patra, which is their manifesto, it doesn't say that. And there is a speech being referred to in the 2006, Dr. Manmohan Singh, who was Prime Minister at that point of time. But it is very clear from that entire speech also that there is no reference to what Modi or Amit Shah or the other leaders of the BJP are talking. In fact, we did a very serious video on that as well, outlining what exactly was there in the Manmohan Singh speech and what exactly was in the Congress manifesto as well. This is a new law. And the other law that we see is what we saw in Surat, where the entire field has been emptied out and just one person, the BJP person, has been declared as elected. This is a constituency which has about 20 lakh voters. And then what we saw there was the Congress representative whose nomination was disqualified. There was a dummy candidate. This is very normal across the country. There are dummy candidates. If say a DMK person comes and files a nomination, there will be a second DMK person also who will file the nomination, because in case the first nomination gets rejected, the second guy will be the official candidate of the party. Exactly the same thing Congress had done in Surat as well. Now we have a situation where the person who filed the nomination, his proposers have come out and said our signatures are forged, and it is not some very distant person or person from somewhere in the constituency who come and sign the papers. It is his relatives who came and signed the particular document nominating this person as the Congress representative, and we see that there is so much of place for foul play. Again, the person who had actually was the dummy candidate, again his nomination also is being invalidated on the basis that one of the proposers said that it is not my signature, and somebody else has kind of impersonated him. Now this is a thing that has been this is a thing that we have not seen in India so far. That is, the main opposition party, the Congress party, both the candidates are being invalidated, their nominations are being thrown out merely because a proposer or a seconder has come out and said that this is not my signature. And again, we see another thing as well there. Every single candidate in the fray has withdrawn his nomination. Why does this happen? This does not happen anywhere else in India. This appears to be the Gujarat model of development, and this we saw close to the second phase, where a BJP candidate has already been declared elected by the local returning officer, who is the collector of that particular place, Surat, and this has been also endorsed by the Election Commission. Of course, there is a complaint which went to the Election Commission, but we don't see any the action from the Election Commission. We don't see anything being done on the part of the Supreme Court as well, and that is where we stand today. We are going to the second phase of election on the basis of these two developments, which are extremely negative for the smooth conduct of elections across the country, because this kind of issue, which basically is a BJP slogan, Congress Mukt Bharat. They don't want Congress even in a fight anywhere in India. We are going to possibly see this across other constituencies, and I shudder to think what will happen. The same kind of thing that happened in Chandigarh, where a returning officer invalidated 8 votes to make sure that the BJP person won, and the day was saved only because the Supreme Court intervened and censured this particular returning officer, that the particular status quo ante was restored in the Chandigarh mayor poll. We see that again. I hope we don't see this kind of skullduggery anywhere across in the third phase, on the later phases of the campaign. This is before we go to the polling on the second phase itself. And there are two political parties whose fortunes depend a lot on the second phase of these polls. Basically, JDS, Janata Dal Secular, Devagowda is the president of the party. His son Kumarasamy is in the fray. His son-in-law Manjunath, Dr. Manjunath is in the fray. His nephew is in the fray, and it is basically a kind of family party, and that family party has tied up with the Bharatiya Janata Party to try and win as many seats as possible in south of from Mandya onwards in the old Mysuru region. And that is exactly where the Congress also is trying to bring in its own reinforcement. But the problem happens to be that the JDS does not make a serious attempt in this particular polls. It does not put in the serious numbers. It is in danger of being subsumed by either the Bharatiya Janata Party, or its vote base is likely to shift to either the Bharatiya Janata Party or the Congress in this particular elections. So it is a kind of do or die battle for the JDS in this particular election. The second political party which is in the crossroads at this particular point of time is the CPIM. The CPIM in 2004, they had managed to win 43 seats. That was the highest that the left parties had ever gone. They won seats in Tripura, they won in West Bengal, they won in Tamil Nadu, and they won also in Kerala, major seats in Kerala. In 2009, this became an emaciated 16 seats. In 2014, this became 9 seats, and in 2019, it becomes 3 seats. Now, unless the CPIM can win 11 Lok Sabha seats in this particular election, they are going to lose their national recognition. What this means is basically is that it will lose the right to use the hammer, sickle and star symbol of theirs across constituencies, across states for the next upcoming elections, whether it is a state election or the national elections. It's up to the Election Commission to give that particular symbol back to the CPIM. So that is the problem with the CPIM. These two political parties are in the crossroads, the JDS and the CPIM, and more importantly, the entire question of democratic exercise is under question as we come to the second phase of the elections.
So coming to Kerala, as we all know, it is seen as a fight between the two left sides, that is the CPIM and the Congress. Rahul Gandhi himself is contesting from Wayanad. Do you think the BJP will be able to make inroads this election?
Yeah, I will answer the second part of the question first. Will BJP be able to make inroads? BJP has some very fine candidates. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, who is a minister in the union cabinet, he is now fighting from Trivandrum. Then there is Suresh Gopi, who kind of looks clownish, but then he managed 30% of the votes in the 2019 elections from Thrissur. So these two, and of course Surendran, the state president, is contesting from Wayanad, where Rahul Gandhi is contesting. So these three will be largely the key constituencies as far as BJP is concerned. And of course, the only person who stands some chance of making an impact in this particular election is the Thrissur candidate, actor Suresh Gopi. This is because in 2019 his name was announced very late and he went into the campaign very late. Even with all of that, he managed to secure 30% of the votes that were polled at that point of time. But he has formidable rivals this time around. The Congress has fielded K. Karunakaran, former Chief Minister of Kerala, his son K. Muralidharan. He is a very well known face. His father contested from a place called Mala, which is part of the Thrissur constituency, and has won every single time he has contested in Mala from that particular assembly constituency. K. Karunakaran's son and that entire family has some kind of hold over Mala and the neighboring constituencies, including Thrissur as well. The CPM candidate again is a former minister, so it's a huge fight between these three people, and we see this three-cornered fight only in Thrissur. That is the BJP versus the CPM versus the Congress, we see only in Thrissur. What we see in Trivandrum, where Shashi Tharoor and Rajiv Chandrasekhar are locked off in a fight, is basically that Rajiv Chandrasekhar is not really in the scene at all. The person in the scene is the CPI candidate, which we have talked about earlier, Panniyan Ravindran. That is the guy who is in the fray. The second most important candidate in the fray across Kerala is a guy called Venugopal, who is the General Secretary of the Congress Party, possibly the second most powerful person in the Congress today. He is fighting off in a place called Alappuzha. He is facing an already existing candidate, one of the very few who won. Actually the only CPM candidate who won from Kerala. Last time in 2019 it was 19-1 in favor of the UDF, the United Democratic Front, which is led by the Congress. So these are the main fights in Kerala, and then we come to Wayanad, where there is a face-off between the Congress's Rahul Gandhi and of course Annie Raja of the CPI, and Surendran also is in the fray. Surendran of course is a very distant third. Annie Raja doesn't have the kind of pull because she is not from the state either. She also is an imported candidate. Rahul Gandhi also is an imported candidate. In fact, the only person who is from that particular region, not Wayanad but Kerala, is Surendran. This is the reality as far as Kerala goes, and this particular time again there is anti-incumbency because CPIM led LDF is in his second term at this point of time, and Rahul Gandhi's campaign across the state has been quite effective. He also did the Bharat Jodo Yatra, people still remember that. His sister Priyanka Gandhi was a huge draw in Wayanad and the other places that she went to. So all in all, it appears that Congress is in a safe wicket in Kerala, and of course as we saw in Tamil Nadu also, Congress was in a safe wicket.
So now coming to Karnataka, election happened in two phases on April 26th and on May 7th. Assembly election took place in the state just last year. Do you think the trends will be seen again in this general election?
There are personal rivalries at play, there are personal egos in play, there is a lot of heartburn in play in Karnataka, and that is only at a personal level. Siddaramaiah, for instance, has to prove that he can win Kamarajnagar, he has to prove he can win Mysuru. In fact, Mysuru is also the place where Siddaramaiah, Chief Minister's son, is completely camped and is campaigning and making sure that the Congress actually wins that particular seat. Now, if you look at Karnataka, the 2019 polls, you will see a complete wave of saffron sweeping from the north of Karnataka to the south of Karnataka, all over. It was 25 seats out of the 28 seats that the BJP had won. Now, what are the personal rivalries? We saw that a person called Soumya Reddy, who contested the Jayanagar elections in the assembly elections the last time around in just about 10 months ago in 2023, she was initially announced as having won that seat by a margin of about 50 votes or something, and then enter Tejasvi Surya and his uncle and a few others into the polling station, into the counting center, and then we see that suddenly Soumya Reddy has lost by about 14 votes. Soumya Reddy has taken that to heart. Soumya Reddy's father is also a person called Ramalinga Reddy, an 8-time MLA. He is a very well known person, very influential person in that particular area. He has also taken it to heart. This was very unnecessary on the part of Tejasvi Surya to come into the counting center and somehow turn this whole thing around to make sure that Soumya Reddy loses. And this is a personal rivalry. So Soumya Reddy is taking on Tejasvi Surya. You have to remember that Bangalore South, where Tejasvi Surya is actually fighting, is not a seat that the Congress has ever held at all. From I think 1991 or so, it has always been with the BJP. And you go to again Bangalore Central, again you have a very interesting fight between Mohan, who belongs to the BJP, and again this is a seat which I think which was made in which was created in 2008. He has always held that seat. He is attempting to be a 4-time member of parliament, and Congress is giving a huge fight there as well. Now, which are the seats where the personal rivalries again come to fore? Mandya, where H.D. Kumarasamy is fighting today. This is Devagowda's son and former Chief Minister of Karnataka. Again, here this seat as well, D.K. Shivkumar wants to ensure that Kumarasamy loses, and to the extent that again another relative of Devagowda is fighting against DK's brother, D.K. Shivkumar's brother, D.K. Suresh is contesting from Bangalore rural constituency. In that constituency, again, Dr. Manjunath is contesting against D.K. Suresh. Again, it's a personal rivalry which has assumed a political tone. Now, these are all the personal things on the field, but then we also have a lot of other issues in play. One is Modi's guarantee versus the guarantees given by the Congress government itself. The Congress government gave 2,000 rupees to the women of the state, and it is still an ongoing project. The Congress government has made free bus rides for the women. In fact, day before yesterday, there was a scene where a lady had come up to the Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and garlanded him with all the tickets that she had bought. There is, I mean, each time you get into a bus, a ticket is given to you. Of course, you don't need to pay for it, but in a free ride, that ticket is given to you. She has made a garland out of those tickets and gone and kind of garlanded Siddaramaiah. Now, things like these become viral videos, and these are the narrative in the minds of the people. It's just 10 months, and in the 10 months, it is known that the Congress has delivered quite a lot on its promises that it has made to the people of Karnataka. Why? Because of these 2-3 things that the Congress government has actually done. One is the 2,000 rupee scheme, the other is the free bus pass. These 2 things have reached a lot of the people. And the other thing is that the minorities now seem to think that, okay, it is a level playing field for all of us, and the police will not act against us in a way which was being done when the BJP was in power. So that again is a huge assurance for the minorities. Obviously, the minorities are this time planning to vote only for the Congress, and of course the Congress combine anybody else in that particular region as well. Now, this is this particular election, these 14 seats that we see in the old Mysuru region, largely in the old Mysuru region, 11 of the 14 seats are in that region, is a huge test for the JDS BJP alliance, because will this alliance work or not? That is the question. What we saw in the 2023 assembly elections is that the Congress has swept its entire region, but in 2019 Lok Sabha elections, completely the other way around. The BJP had won the entire seats there, and 2019 is the time when JDS was also in alliance with Congress. Now in 2023, the entire scene changes completely, overwhelmingly. The place voted for the Congress alliance. Now, what will that hold in 2024, especially when there is no Prime Minister candidate? And that is the reason why this thing of double engine Sarkar has been turned on its head, and now both the leaders, D.K. Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah, are claiming that they are the double engine Sarkar of the Karnataka development story, and they are trying to cash in on the Karnataka development story, saying that in 10 months we have managed to do so much for you, we will do much more if we come back to power. And the other thing that you notice across the Congress leadership is that they are very understated in the claims that they are making as to how many seats they will win. For instance, Mallikarjun Kharge was asked by a reporter, how many seats do you think you will win in Karnataka? And Mallikarjun Kharge says between 15 and 20, that's the number that we have in mind. But you ask the same question to somebody like Vijayendra, who is the state president today, and then he says we'll win all the 28 seats. So there is a kind of humility in what the Congress leaders are saying. At the same time, you see a kind of overconfidence in what the BJP's leaders are saying. These and plus the facts on the ground, the Prime Minister's rallies have not taken off, the Amit Shah's rallies have not really taken off, and all that the BJP has been trying to do on the ground is to create some kind of disenchantment with the people, exactly as they tried in the 2023 elections, where you had a Prime Minister go up on stage and say Jai Bajrang Bali, because he claimed that Bajrang Bali was about to be banned, when the fact is that the Congress, some leader in Congress said something like Bajrang Dal is going to be banned in the state of Karnataka if they indulge in anti-national activities and do something against the communal harmony of the state. But to counter this, all that the Congress government has done is actually twofold. One is to make sure that in social media and other platforms, this complete propaganda is addressed. Earlier, Congress never did this. Congress never addressed these issues at all, and the rumors had a field day, and people really believed whatever they wanted to believe. Today, that is not the case. The second thing that the Congress has done is to make sure that the Muslim reservation also comes in the OBC ambit. Now, there are varying versions of this. There is a fact check which basically says that the Muslim reservation was given by the Kumarasamy government in 1995. There is another version which says that OBCs were being, Muslims were included in the OBC list only now and in one particular section and whatnot. So there is a lot of confusion regarding that also, and these also both the political parties are trying to capitalize on. So it's a head-on fight between the Congress and the BJP across most states in Karnataka, and what we see across most states, most constituencies in Karnataka, and what we see in Karnataka is that this polarization, religious polarization, is not actually working on the ground, at least in these 14 states.
So coming to Congress, the party's national president Mallikarjun Kharge himself is from the Congress, is from Karnataka. What are some of the pros and cons that the Congress faces in the state, and do you believe there is a possibility for the BJP to retain its seats?
Now, Karnataka is not a homogeneous entity at all. There is the Mumbai Karnataka, there is a Hyderabad Karnataka, there is the Old Mysore region, and then there is the Bangalore region. These regions vote very differently each, and of course there is the Konkan region. All these regions normally vote very differently in each election, and each has a different take on which party they prefer. Now, what the BJP has very cleverly done is to try and bring the Lingayat and the Vokkalinga vote together, so that they come together as an entity, and only if they come together as an entity will the BJP win this election. It is very clear that unless this consolidation takes place between the Lingayat, Seers and the Mutts and all of them talking well of the BJP and trying to ask votes for demanding votes for the BJP, it is impossible that the BJP win this election. And that is the reason why they tied up with the JDS, and that is the reason why somebody like S.M. Krishna, a former chief minister and a Vokkalinga leader, is again in the fold of the BJP as of today. He is not a very prominent face in the BJP as of today, but he has an importance because he hails from the Mysuru region. So this is what the BJP wants to capitalize on. The BJP's problem is that it has a lot of infighting. We saw a tall leader like Ishwarappa leave the party, and Ishwarappa is contesting against Raghavendra. Raghavendra again is former Chief Minister BSY's son. So we have all these combinations, but there is a lot of heartburn within the BJP itself. When asked about this, the BJP state president says something like, BJP is a party where a lot of people have aspirations, and hence a lot of people want to contest on a BJP ticket. Unfortunately, we will not be able to give a seat to everyone who wants to contest, and hence these contests will happen. But then that means that the party is really huge, party is really grown, and it will win all the 28 seats. You look at what the Congress is trying to do. Congress has somebody like Mallikarjun Kharge in its ranks, and he is the Congress president today. So there is an attempt to consolidate the Ahinda votes and the Vokkalinga votes, which is what DK and of course Siddaramaiah are trying to do. So DK, Siddaramaiah and of course Kharge, what they are trying to do is to bring together the Vokkalinga votes and the Ahinda votes. So once these two communities, despairing communities, come together, the Congress believe that its job is done, and that is what the Congress is banking on.
Now to talk about the northern part of the state, we have seen several pro-BJP campaigns even among the urban section of the electorate. Now there is something like electoral bond scheme, the electoral bonds debacle, do you think this will affect the decisions of urban voters?
See, electoral bonds is very difficult to explain as a proposition to a voter. What will you go and say? Electoral bonds is something that is impossible to explain to large numbers of people in a meeting. You probably have 15-20 minutes in each of the corners. What are you going to say? Electoral bonds. But what you can possibly say is corruption, which is what Rahul Gandhi is trying to say. Rahul Gandhi is trying to say that Narendra Modi is giving all the Indian wealth to his friends. That is the kind of campaign which will work. Now, if you go into, say, in 2019, almost something similar happened when political parties tried to explain what Pegasus was to an Indian population. It did not work at all. Pegasus, was it a huge issue? Of course, it's a huge issue because opposition political parties' phones were being tapped by government of India's sleuths or spies and whatnot, and that information was being passed on to the Bharatiya Janata Party. That's the allegation. The Supreme Court went into it, but nothing came out of it either. So the problem is trying to explain electoral bonds in simple, understandable language to the people. I think some people have made an attempt, like somebody like a YouTuber like Dhruv Rathi has made an attempt, and we have had an interview with him in Frontline as well. Somebody like Ravish Kumar has made an attempt. He has also broken through this particular maze and tried to explain things, but then you need about 20-25 minutes to explain what an electoral bond scheme is. Now that is impossible, and that is the problem that political parties are today facing. Do they explain electoral bonds, or they talk about unemployment and price rise and consequent economic issues and whatnot? It is easy to talk about economy, it is easy to talk about unemployment, it is easy to talk about youth aspirations not being met, it is easy to talk about Adani walking away with everything that government of India owns as of today. So these are the easy things to speak, and I think these are the easy topics that people can relate to also, and those are the things that political parties are currently talking about. Electoral bonds are a distant second. I think one odd leader here or there will make a reference to it.
Now, coming to the Citizenship Amendment Act, just before the elections kicked off, the Citizenship Amendment Act was ratified by the centre, and now it's come into force. Do you believe this will have an impact in voters' decisions of Karnataka?
Yeah, not just voters of Karnataka. I think voters across the country are concerned about both electoral bonds and, of course, the CAA. Now, the CAA affects only certain sections of the population. Like, for instance, in Assam, there are detention centers. People are in detention, and that is one place where this the fierce face of CAA actually comes to play, and we see religion being used as a tool of citizenship. The test, it has failed the test in Assam. Now, what will happen if the same thing comes into Karnataka? Obviously, there will be a huge issue, and then if people are asked to prove that if their grandparents existed or were lived in this particular place or this particular house, it's very difficult for anybody to prove. I don't have a birth certificate myself. My parents are dead. So what do I do? Is it possible for me to prove that I was born in Tamil Nadu or Kerala or whatever? It is difficult for me to prove. Now, that is one part of it. Can I prove my parents are born here? That's also not possible at this point of time, because all my certificates, all the parent certificates, God only knows where it is. So technically, if I don't have papers, I can be a suspect in a CAA panel. In the tribunal, so-called tribunal. So that is an issue, and that is an issue that a lot of Muslims are very scared about, and I think the Congress party and the others are taking this particular narrative, trying to tell the people that, oh, if the BJP comes to power again, you will all be hauled before tribunals. I think this fright is unnecessary, but unfortunately it is the BJP which has fueled this particular fright.
Now, the upper part of Karnataka is closer to Maharashtra. Will these parts, will the voting trends differ significantly in your view?
I mean, largely people vote on issues, and this particular election, there's a lot of caste-based issues. Now, North is dominated by Lingayats. There will always be a Lingayat angle to anything that happens in north of Karnataka. That is one part of it. The second part of it is the clashes between the Marathas and the Kannadigas itself in the border regions of Karnataka. Now, how does that play out? Karnataka at this point of time is ruled by a Congress government, and Maharashtra is ruled by a BJP / any one form of Shinde Shiv Sena kind of government. Now, as of this point of time, the clashes are not big. It's not become a electoral issue, so to speak. In 2023, it was an electoral issue. In 2019, it was made into an electoral issue. But this particular election, we see a general calmness prevailing in that place. So, what will eventually what will decide the northern Karnataka is, of course, caste, number one. And number two, it will be the infighting within the BJP, which will make it sure whether the BJP will win the seat or lose the seat.
And that brings us to the end of our session. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, RK. For more such videos, please subscribe to Frontline.